Here we are talking about the Summerslam Spectaculars. I'm here with the man himself, Mr. Spectacular Nolan, who we're going to run down SummerSlam as we know it at this time. I'm excited. How about you?
I'm very excited. I'm sitting here in my swim shorts. I got a towel around my waist, got my sunglasses on, and I'm sipping on a newly promoted energy drink from a former WWE star, Mr. Badass Billy Gunn, Vegas Fuel.
Vegas. Oh, I thought you were going to say Ric Flair. I thought you'd actually somehow...
No, this is a new one. The new one I saw, there's a video on YouTube of him promoting it, and basically what he does is he gets the guy to chug it, and then he slaps him like Flair, and then he has to... So does that help against the pain? And the guy's like, oh, no. Meanwhile, the guy's got like a red handprint on his chest.
Oh, now, hopefully the marketing isn't... It tastes like...
No. Or
that's
stick it up your...
Perfect. Well, here we are. Like I said, we're going to talk about the matches we think's going to happen at SummerSlam. Do you want to talk about? Basically we're going to talk about the belts, and then of course we already know what the big main event is, and that's Triple H versus Brock Lesnar.
Yes, sir.
Even though Brocky's supposedly back in talks with the UFC.
I think that's a bunch of bull crap.
There you go.
I think Brock was very smart to show up at UFC just to make people think.
Exactly. It's good to have Brock come out there and have everybody see him because that helps give exposure to WWE. Oh, where's Brock been? Exactly. Oh, WWE. Oh, let's go check that out and see what he's been doing.
He got to go to the UFC event and witness the murdering of a Bigfoot.
Oh, was that ever? Absolutely. So that's our bit. That's going to be the main event, pretty much. Triple H versus our good friend Brock Lesnar. That's going to.
Do you think it's going to be the main event?
It is going to be. It has to be. It's going to be the final match, the big one, where they're going to hype the most.
So does Paul Heyman accompany Brock Lesnar to the ring?
Yes.
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 Does somebody accompany Triple H to the ring?
No. Because then it'll make it feel like he's even more handicapped as he already is. He's already got a broken arm that's going to heal by the time the match happens. But now having Heyman, it just puts the odds against Triple H.
Is the match going to be gimmicked?
No.
Not a gimmick. Is there going to be outside interference?
Well, I shouldn't. From Heyman, perhaps. But it's going to be... I can see it having a match, like having some kind of stipulation as in like a no-holds-barred match or something like that because these guys want to break each other because the guy broke his arm. So therefore, it has to have something.
A broken arm match.
Yes, exactly. You never had that before.
Cowboy Bob Orton match.
Nice. But there has to be a payoff. And if you want to put a stipulation to it, absolutely, I would say, just a street fight.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the street fights, especially with Triple H, seem to be the only matches that he actually fights in anymore. But the thing is, he can carry a match, and so could Lesnar.
Yeah.
I just think people would enjoy the street fight gimmick allows for Brock to be more of an animal, right?
Exactly. Plus, you got to also remember, Brock hasn't wrestled since Extreme Rules, therefore he's not as smooth with any of his moves. He's going to be rusty as heck. So to protect that from the appearance, they'll put him in a street fight to protect that. So all you have to do is whack, whack, punch, lay down for a bit, whack, whack, punch, go back, right?
Here's my ultimate great storyline if they could actually do it for this match.
All right.
Regardless of who wins, whether Brock wins or Triple H wins, Brock is going to beat the crap out of Triple H after the match.
Yeah.
And then the Undertaker comes out to make the save.
Ooh.
Because then we have that dynamic of not respecting the company, etc. A Taker's been mentioned before, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have Brock and Taker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that could plant the seed.
Exactly. Oh, that sounds nice. That's very good. I wasn't thinking Undertaker yet. I was thinking maybe
nobody's thinking that, right?
So therefore, you give it to him.
He doesn't have to do anything either. He just has to stop Brock Lesnar from doing something. For example, he could just appear in the ring, the lights go out, whatever, and then Brock jumps out of the ring.
Exactly.
And that's it, and they stare down. Oh, you don't have to say nothing, and that's it.
Exactly. And the best thing, they were able to prove that Rock and Cena could last a year. This is pretty much a half year now, or 3/4 of a year for Taker versus Lesnar. Absolutely could happen.
Yeah.
I can say that they could do that with no problem.
I think that would be a cool way to like really set the storyline going forward, right?
Exactly. That's very good. All right, so that's our main event. Of course, we can't go anywhere without talking about Cena and who he's going to fight. Who do you have down as Cena fighting at SummerSlam this year?
You know what's funny is I was putting my matches together, and then I realized that I didn't have Cena included on the card. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm thinking that Cena is going to be in a match with probably Big Show. I'm thinking they're going to stretch this out, and they're going to either have him in a handicap match with Show and Laurinaitis, or Show and Tensai, or I just don't think Cena plays a prominent role on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, when you have they're giving it, and that's pretty much they're taking away what he has been. He's been the company on his back for so long. Now they're taking it off and giving it to other people, even if it is Triple H, even if it is going to be Brock Lesnar, even if it's going to be CM Punk. I had down, this is my thing, Cena versus Tensai, even though they've considered Tensai now to be a flop since he showed up. But as we talked about previously, they've tweaked him a little bit now. So now, Cena's going to go through Big Show, or at least we'll talk about that as we get up to No Way Out. I don't think it's going to be that easy. But he has to keep fighting Laurinaitis. So therefore, Tensai becomes the guy he has to fight. So that's my pick. And I'm going to say, I don't want to say Singapore Kane match. So I'm just going to say it's going to be Cena versus Tensai. And that's
in a Prince Albert match.
In a Prince in a King
gets their balls pierced. Tensai can't lose that match.
No, it's already done. I win. There you go. All right, so let's talk about the titles then. Okay. And then we'll talk about who we've left off and how we can fix that. Let's start off with the Divas title match. This one, pretty much, I feel set in stone. Yeah. It's going to be Beth Phoenix versus Karma. Beth as champion, Karma as the challenger.
Yep, I just don't think there's really much to talk about here. That's going to be that. Karma's going to squash her, and then Karma's going to be the women's champion for the next 5 years. There you go. And then they retire the belt. No, you know what? Why not have that where she has the title forever? It doesn't really make that much of a difference, but it's actual storyline.
Moolah had the belt for 22 years, my friend.
Is that it?
That's it.
Karma can beat that record.
Yeah, exactly. All right, tag team titles. Do you think it's going to be defended at the pay-per-view?
I do. Because as you can see, as from Raw this week, they're starting to build up the tag team ranks a bit.
Yeah.
I think, I'm pretty sure that the guys, R-Truth and Kofi are still going to be the tag team champions. Yeah. But they're going to lose the title to somebody, and I'm not sure who that's going to be yet.
Right now, these are my picks. It could be Titus O'Neil and Darren Young.
Yeah, those guys seem to be. Those guys seem to be
more face time.
Yeah.
But but when I was thinking about this is the team I wanted to see. Them versus R-Truth and Kofi versus the Great Khali and Ezekiel Jackson.
Well, I just saw a commercial for NXT, and it seems like those two guys are starting to come in. And why not? That sounds fine with me. I'm really happy with any, as long as they develop some tag team to build up towards the match, it's fine. I think they might even go with a tag team turmoil match. Yeah. You want to build some interest? Put the 4 teams out there.
But that Washington guy, that's the only thing throwing the curveball, because here he is. He's got this bunch of tag teams. He's got Primo and Unico, or whatever his name is. Unicorn. And we don't see, today should be getting part. Where's the storyline go? It's all of a sudden disappeared again. And it's kind of like, where are they in the mix? But to sell a pay-per-view, if this is going to be a mega super card pay-per-view, you have to have something like the small team of R-Truth and Kofi versus just these 2 big monsters. And that's why I want to go with that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I mean, the problem with that is they're going to have to spend a half an hour for Khali to walk to the damn ring. They need to give him a bicycle or something.
That's right. And as a wild card, I'll throw this because I'll give you credit for this one. Alex Shelley and Evan Bourne as bad guys.
As bad guys? Yeah, actually, you know what? That's not bad. That's not a bad idea. I initially thought of them as a face, but yeah. Have him.
Evan Bourne turns on Kofi because he used to be tag champs.
Yeah. That makes.
And all of a sudden, Kofi's got the belt without him. He goes nuts and attacks him. Brings in Alex Shelley as a tag partner. Good, fashion, fast-paced tag.
There you go. That sounds like a perfect tag team right there.
And that means it won't happen.
Exactly.
So there you go. U.S. title. I'm calling this on your YouTube match for SummerSlam.
Okay.
And I'm putting down U.S. champion David Otunga. Versus our good friend Zack Ryder.
You're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere completely different with this and say that Santino's still gonna be the champion, and he is gonna lose the title to Jack Swagger.
He's got the swagger. You know something? He is going to lose the belt. I don't think he's going to make, because we just saw on Raw this week, he lost bad to Del Rio. Like, bad. Even if he is Santino, he represents the U.S. Championship. He shouldn't be losing in like a minute.
Yeah.
But he did. So I'm thinking they're setting him up to finally let go of the belt. You've had your fun with the Santino. You don't need to have the belt. We're going to give it to somebody, and they're going to give it to David Otunga. So therefore, our good friend Johnny Laurinaitis can say, "You're my U.S. champion, David Otunga."
No, I think Otunga is definitely in line to win the U.S. title in the near future. It's just that he's been losing too.
Exactly. But the thing is, you can lose all you want and still beat Santino.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true.
So what are you thinking? You're thinking Santino still keeps the belt, but he's going to fight Jack Swagger at the.
But I'm liking Otunga. Maybe Otunga fits in there as well.
And I think Zack Ryder. Is it? No, WrestleMania's in Jersey. I don't know where exactly SummerSlam is this year, so I can't.
So, is it in LA again?
Perhaps. But I'm going to say that's our free YouTube match because I don't think they're going to put that many titles on there with Triple H and Brock. They're going to have a long time with that match, that's for sure.
Yep.
So the 3-minute U.S. title match has to go on.
Exactly.
Intercontinental title. What did you have for that? I'll let you pick.
I have Christian versus Dolph Ziggler.
Wow, very nice, very nice. And the thing is, and there's one of my guys I don't have on the card, so therefore it has to.
Which guy?
I have
Christian or Ziggler?
Kind of. Yeah, I have Ziggler. I didn't have him on there. I had Christian defending his belt against Cody Rhodes. You know, because I think Cody's taking some time off, so then he'll come back and attack. But I'm putting this is going to be the special stipulation of the pay-per-view, TLC.
Very interesting. I'm going to say they're not going to do TLC because the pay-per-view before is Money in the Bank.
And there's your ladder right there.
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. But I'm thinking they're going to put something special, that's why I'm thinking a special spin to it. But I can understand where you're going with that. That's for sure. And I still got to find a spot for Dolph, so that's good. Maybe it's going to be Dolph versus Swagger. Maybe that'll be my thing.
Yeah, I think they're going to do that match sooner than later. I think they're going to build that one up for maybe even No Way Out. Okay. And then during that match is when Mason Ryan makes his debut as Ziggler's main guy.
There you go. That's nice. That's nice. Now, let's get to the two big titles. We have the world title. Let's start off with Sheamus. First of all, Sheamus making it to the pay-per-view for you?
100%.
100%. And who is he going to fight at the pay-per-view?
Well, originally I had Orton pegged in, but I still think Orton is still gonna fight Sheamus.
Yeah.
But I read today that Orton's suspension ends right after the Money in the Bank, so he can't technically win the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But I could see him beating the guy that wins the Money in the Bank by putting it on the line somehow to get the title shot to fight Sheamus.
Oh, there you go.
If they want to involve the Money in the Bank guy, but I still think it's going to be Orton and Sheamus because that's a high-profile match.
That's money. And like I said, if we're going to build a super card, this is exactly what they have. This is the match that people will be clamoring for. Yep. Sheamus. It's better than Sheamus versus, Kane or Sheamus, although I can see that happening. Yeah. Sheamus Del Rio, nobody would give a flying frick about it.
No.
Sheamus and Orton, given the certain things, and I think Orton will turn as soon as he gets back.
Exactly, and I think Sheamus is going to hold the title considering that Orton was suspended. They're not going to give the title. I just want to say something interesting about these suspensions.
Okay.
Orton is a top guy. So, and he's been on TV for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I am thinking that WWE is using some of these wellness violations as a means to give some of these wrestlers a vacation, but also use it as a facade to make it look like they're enforcing their drug policy as a PR move.
Okay, Randy, you go on vacation. You were just gonna say you did some cocaine.
Yeah.
I can understand that though.
But do you see what I mean? Because then that would keep like the media watchdog people and the government off their back because they are suspending people.
Exactly.
Like Rey Mysterio, he probably wasn't ready to come back. So it's like, okay, well, we can use this on you to say, okay, you've been violent, and they're using some of their upper tier guys, and it kind of says, okay, these guys are serious about it. So I think this could be some kind of conspiracy thing that Orton just needs some time off, and you have him fail the test. Bring that into the storyline to make him heel.
Exactly. Oh, see, there you go. See, perfect. Yes, exactly. You're protecting Sheamus from me, so you go and you give me some bogus claim and kick me out for 2 months.
Still getting paid though.
And still getting paid, but that I should have been world champion by now. There you go. So now this leads into our WWE title match. Does CM Punk make it through the summer?
CM Punk makes it through the summer, and he fights Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
Cody Rhodes wins the Money in the Bank, and he decides to cash it in. Say, I'm not going to be like these other skeezy guys that go around people's backs. And then he goes and he has a wonderful match with CM Punk. And,
I was going to say, then he does something skizzy and wins.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you got to like somehow make him. He could, he could very well cheat to win. But
or this could be the face turn that everybody's been kind of saying, hey, well, you know, it's time for him to turn face.
It could be time for Punk to go heel too.
It could be.
He's
making too much money. It's too much money. He's making everybody's wearing his T-shirts. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but they're going to like him as a heel, though.
Do you think he's got that Austin vibe then? Is that what you're saying?
Punk is that guy that you're going to like him face or heel. I mean, people loved him when he was heel, when he was...
Yep.
And then he turned into a face, right?
Exactly.
He can because a more aggressive and ruthless CM Punk is, I think, a very good character.
Exactly.
Then he can go preaching again.
Yes. He's got more points to prove. There you go. Hey, Randy, you got kicked out, did you?
Yep.
Excellent. All right, and this is my pick and I'm saying this is for the super card. I'm going to say CM Punk is going to SummerSlam as champion, and he will fight Big Johnny's ace in the hole, the Big Show.
The Big Show. Yeah, I thought about that as well. And that could be, that sounds like that's a good feud. That would be a good match as well.
And look what happened on Raw, all right? And look what's going to happen on SmackDown if you read the spoilers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're turning him into a wrecking machine. I think and we'll talk about this when we get to No Way Out, but I think he beats Cena in the cage, probably with help, but I think it's going to be a very destructive Big Show, gives Cena some time off. But then it just leads him down that path where he's going to chase after Punk. And it gives Punk and the thing is, history can play on this because CM Punk has had a hard time fighting the Big Show in the past. Big Show shaved his head. Mm-hmm. Shaved Punk's head in the past.
Yep.
That's how much of a history these guys could play off of. And having him put the belt on the line against this giant is going to be money, especially this newfound ass-kicking giant.
And you know who's going to come back to stop him? Mark Henry. A face turn Mark Henry is going to come back, and he's going to say, oh, you want to kick ass? And you're beating up people, I'm not here?
Yeah.
I would love to see that, actually, because those guys put on some good matches.
They you know something? Mark Henry, he's been around for over a decade now, so we can't say much about that. But the thing is, he has shown that he can actually do it with the big boys.
When he's and when he has that, like, aggressive, I love how he chirps people while he's fighting them. Like, he's great. He's actually, like, his game, he's really upped his game.
That's right.
Okay, so here's some other matches that I was kind of thinking of.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe we have a Daniel Bryan versus Kane match.
Yes, that was my pick too.
And I'm also thinking that we're going to have Alberto Del Rio against Sin Cara.
I didn't even think of that. I had Del Rio, but I had it blank. I didn't know who
or Mysterio if he comes back, or have a Mexican triple threat.
Well, why not? Why not? That'd be interesting. But I'm going to say this about...
And have a Lucha Libre style match, especially if it's in California.
Yeah.
They're gonna draw in the Mexican crowd. I think that would be a great and that'd be a good gimmick match. Call it a lucha libre match.
Yep. Well, that's actually very good. You know something? That's a great idea. That's perfect. It won't happen, but there you go. But I have Daniel Bryan versus Kane. I had that down pat. Do you want to know why? And this is a spoiler for No Way Out, but I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Somebody has embraced the hate.
Yeah.
And nobody has figured it out yet. AJ has embraced the hate. She's setting them all up, and she's going to be hanging out with but apparently a 3-foot-long penis in Kane.
I burned one at that.
Have you heard about the story of Vince wanting Kane on See No Evil to have a 3-foot penis?
Yes, I did hear that.
And so on the pay-per-view last day we came on there, everyone was chirping on the website about his 3-foot poker.
I love how I read that story, and the producer said, "That's a great idea, but just not for this movie." That's not a great idea for any movie.
No, well, maybe for certain movies.
Maybe Snakes on a Plane.
There. Yeah. If you guys like our picks or have some other ideas, please let us know. Comment down there. And thank you, Nolan, as always. And we'll be back right after.